since 2003. I've dealt with relapsing, remitting, well, so it's the first stage or the fourth stage that we deal with. I don't say I have a mess. A lot of people say I have a mess, but it messes up me. I think it's the mess does not have me. I think it's the same thing as claiming a mess. I don't claim a mess. I don't want a mess. So whenever I claim something I don't want. I don't want it. I don't know what it is. I know I deal with it every day. I wake up every single day. Like everybody else, we deal with the mess. Even if you don't, even if you're just a family member of somebody, you deal with the mess. That's it. You deal with it. Make it something you deal with, and it becomes lesser to you. And that's the first stage in overcoming and becoming more powerful than MS wants. MS wants you to be very small. If you look at it as a smaller person or something you don't want, it becomes nothing to you, and you can start to fight back even better. And I tell people all the time that with MS, it's a war, it's not a battle. You fight battles every day. The war is going to live on. It's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. So fight your battles and win each battle. Each battle is a step forward. Now you're looking at that finish line way over there. But you're going to make your steps. Now with me, like I said, I've been dealing with the MS since 03. My first relapse, I had optical neuritis. I woke up one morning and I could not see out of my left eye. Then when the vision started coming back, I've seen like quadruples. So I saw people in their quadruple. I was looking at you, I see 4 of you. They diagnosed me as a Loma Linda Medical Center in California. They diagnosed me, and it was horrible. They just walked the doctor and said, "Well, Mr. Garcia, looks like you're dealing with multiple sclerosis. Have a nice day," and left. That was literally how they told me. I'm 27 years old. I was like, at the time, and I was like, wow. They knew nothing. They knew nothing with diet. They didn't tell me about diet. They didn't tell me about medication. Nothing. A couple of days later, a nurse called me and said, "We have something called, at the time it was Copaxone. It was the only little thing that was out there. There was Rebif and all that stuff, but they didn't say that. They were doing Copaxone." Now, what I found out is Copaxone costs $7,520 per month per patient. Now, American studies, just America, shows us 400,000 plus people with MS in America at $7,000 per person. We're talking billions. Now, I also have up on my Facebook, it shows a study of the top 10 medications in America. 7 of them are MS drugs. 2 other ones are autoimmune disease drugs. What's MS? Autoimmune disease, they say. So the top 8 to 9 of the 10 most popular are MS drugs. So I started to put all that together. There's more money in keeping you sick and prolonging your sickness than there's curing you. Now, after I diagnosed, I went 7 years until 2009 with no problems, none. Perfectly fine. No balance, no nothing else. Functioning member of society. I was a contractor out of Fort Lewis. I was the manager of the slows here at Dual. So maybe some of you might see me there, but maybe not. And then my son, I had a son at the age of 31, and then my baby mother, they left me. They say the stress is what did me in. Now, many people say heat is like your worst enemy. I say a little bit different. For me, at least, it was stress. Heat doesn't affect me like it affects other people. The one thing that I found out, and that I figured out for myself, and you notice with everybody else, they say that MS is a snowflake disease. Snowflake meaning no two are the same. Everybody deals with it differently. So, think about that. That's what the medical community said. Snowflake disease. Okay? So, how are they going to tell you, or anybody else, that you're dealing with the same thing that I deal with? If no one's doing the same, how come the same medication for you is going to work for me? For you it's not. It's going to be different. So, okay, back up to 2009 now, when I got sick second time, my second relapse. The one that was, well, they said that was killed me. A lot of stress, the booze was left and everything. It was just stress. Not heat, it was stress that did me. Stress is a silent killer. With MS, it's a really silent killer because you have no idea what it's doing to your body. On typical, when you're normal, it does even worse with MS. It's like the best friends and they're just wreaking havoc on your body. They're doing this big war that you don't know about. So, when it comes to the stress of it, they don't deal with that. Because if you knew more about what the stresses were in MS, you'd be able to fight MS that much better. You'd have to get the sickness away from you. The stress is the other people who, oh, well, no, you do this. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you really need help? Oh, you don't want that. You want somebody who's going to make you laugh and make you feel like it's okay. You're not different because you're dealing with MS. They're giving you a stigma because you're dealing with MS. I walk funny. I think I do. Everybody else looks at me and goes, you look fine. The stigma is he's weird. I'm ashamed because I walk funny or I talk funny. That's the stigma. Or when I was in a wheelchair, look at that guy. He shouldn't be in a wheelchair. He's a big, strong man, 5'11". Shouldn't be in a wheelchair. He's faking. That stigma, that shame, that's undue stress. That's causing more problems in your body. The stress, MS, if MS is already working on your way, and then stress on top of it, it's like they're high-fiving and saying, look, we got him. Then you fall into this depression about that. So now you have the stress and the stigma, the stress of whatever else in the world, and you still have the regular life. You're still a person. You don't just have MS and you transform from somebody else, you're still somebody who lives regular. So why are you allowing other people's thoughts of you to beat you down even more when you're just the same person, you're dealing with MS now? So now times 10. What I'm saying is, don't allow yourself to be put into a different box. You're still a human being. You're still you. I'm still Ray. I'm just Ray dealing with MS. But I'm not going to allow somebody to tell me what I can and cannot do. I know what I can and cannot do. I'm not going to run 2 miles. Well, I wasn't going to do it in the first place, but I definitely going to do it now. Now I'm just like, okay, now, y'all go ahead. I'm just right here. I'm good. I just know that. I just look at those things. There's things that I don't allow them. So somebody's go, well, before somebody even says, well, I know you look at me, you can tell what they're thinking. Before they would say or think something negative or funny about you, I make it already funny to them. Oh, well, this fact causes other guys not going nowhere. That's what I do. Now how they make fun of themselves. It gives them a sense of, it's not that bad. And in turn, it takes the pressure off me for being or feeling shameful about MS. So basically, I'm looking at MS going, see, I'm okay with it. They're okay with it. Now you deal with it. So I'm telling MS, you deal with it. I'm not letting MS control my scenario. I'm controlling my scenario and letting MS deal with this situation instead of the reverse happening. Because often we allow MS to define how we're going to feel and how we're going to be. And I can't do that now. My second relapse in 2009, it was December, so I say 9, it was 9/10 right there. I don't remember all the stuff, the parts of my memory that are gone. Thank God for some. But I went to the hospital, and apparently one of the nurse's assistant was my ex-wife. We can go into all the why I went to hospice. Maybe it's because of her. I don't know. We can go there with that if we want to. But I went to hospice because she ended up somehow, I don't know how she been able to work this way, but she became a guardian of lighting. Now that's where the controls are, your medical decisions. Of course, I went to hospice. And anyway, so they kept telling her that I was going to die. Apparently, I lost a bunch of weight. It doesn't look like it now, but a whole bunch of weight, and I was really pale, which I always thought I was pale, but I guess I wasn't. But I was pale that I was going to die, so they sent me off to hospice. And at that time, finally, was in the wheelchair. I was, like I said, paralyzed neck down, kind of working. Things starting to work. So I started doing research. I'm like, okay. I started paying attention how the doctors fed me, how my hospital people are feeding me, what medicines I'm on. So I started looking on the internet. Why am I taking this medicine? Incontinence. Okay, it makes sense. Look to the side effects. Okay. Side effects of that medicine, this medicine. Oh, I'm taking the medicine too. What's the side effects of the first medicine? Then this medicine, side effect of that third medicine. It just kept going and going. Like I said, I was on 27 different medications. One of which was Copaxone at the time, so that's the only one I was taking for MS. The rest were for side effects. And then I was looking at those side effects, and I was okay. I can't get past medicine right now. So the hospice, she controlled all my medical stuff, so I couldn't really do much about it. So I said, okay, what can I do for myself now? Because that's one power I think we as adults, and somewhat children, but adults should have, is what can we do for ourselves? Because it's like this young lady was talking about when she lost the ability to use your hands. It's one of the things we take for granted. Little things. The ability to pick something up and do something. The ability to bend or whatever. You lose that. You're like, you don't take that for granted, because when you don't have it, you do that and you fall. I remember that time when I just stand up, I'd be doing this. I couldn't stand still. So I thought to myself in hospice, what can I do to get my individuality back? Diet. Because every day I got up, my hospice nurse would ask me, what would you like to eat this morning? These are your choices. Well, like a normal robot or zombie, whatever you want to call it, we were trying to eat certain these foods for breakfast. The pyramid, remember we were all taught that in high school, the pyramid, eat the grains for breakfast, and get bigger, eat dinner, big dinner. Reverse it. Anyway, that's what I say now. So I said, okay, well, but now I can control my diet. I'm gonna try that. So I start to think of what they fed me in the hospital. Low sodium, low sugar diets. Why? So I started to look into what sodium is all about. Well, sodium is how it's made. If it's not sea salt, natural sea salt, you lose all the minerals, you lose pressure to add iodine to it and hold it together and be drier and not as sticky and clumpy. Well, this mess, I'm like, why did they add this to it? Then it hit me. Our bodies, we're all individuals, nobody's the same. No one, not even identical twins, are not the same. Prove that. So our bodies are a chemistry set. If my body, it takes blood, O2, carbon, whatever, to make this work, why am I adding extra salt to it, or whatever they're adding salt? Put in that body, then you mix it up, what does that come up with? Nobody knows. But it's a chemistry set. And look, you're a beaker of chemicals. So when you eat food, you're adding or subtracting stuff from your nutrition, your body, to work. Now, you can eat natural stuff like grains. Your body accepts that. It has all the things that you need. Then you have like lentils, beans, or in some cases, some people are not, but meat, if you want to eat meat, if that's your thing, that's mine. Like, and the sugar, nothing. Do you really need that? No, you don't. At least not the sugar that they give you need to eat. Because if your body already takes carbohydrates and turns that into sugar for your body, and your body regulates that, so why would you add more sugar to it? Yet, 85% of everything we eat has sugar in it. Mm-hmm. Their sugar. Now, what I mean by their sugar is not like there's some, maybe there's, I don't know, Masala knows a good conspiracy place that needs to just die off. But I just don't get it. I just look at that kind of stuff and I said, I'm too confident with that. So I went with them and I said, look, I want some eggs. I went to school to be a chef too, so I wanted some eggs. This and with all this stuff that had nothing to do with the extra sugars, extra sauce, the almost salt, none of that stuff there. And I started doing that. All of a sudden, I started feeling stronger, a lot more energy. And that's one thing with MS that we deal with is fatigue. We're unable to, some people are unable to last all day without getting tired when the balls they burn out off. I just started looking at different things like that. What makes the body work with the foods that we eat? We drink canned soda, and we know this soda is 85% sugar. High fructose corn syrup, which is not even a normal thing, that's something they make. And from one can of soda, it takes, I think, triple that of water to get the hydration back in the body. So for one 12-ounce of soda, you need almost a 40-ounce of water to get your hydration back. Now, all that, and then also what I found is when you deal with MS, I found when you deal with MS, when you stand there, if I get somebody who's normal sitting next to me, my body's constantly trying to find where the middle is. You're always trying to, your muscles are always working, always trying to figure something out. It's like your body is trying to heal itself. We burn 3 times the amount of calories somebody who does not deal with MS burn. Ask yourself now, why are you tired all the time? Because you're constantly trying to, your body's constantly trying to correct. Constantly trying to. That's why. Why is your back hurt? Because that's the, your back, your spine is holding up one half of your body weight. When you do, every time you bend over, it's a weightlifter. When you bend over, you're actually putting it on your spine. I think it's 30 times the amount of weight with gravity and everything else. Just on your spine line. So if your muscles are not good, your core and your hip flexion, it looks like your butt, but your hip flexion, your back is going to hurt. And all that works into how we deal with MS. It's the energy. Now, so when I said I was trying to figure out things that can get back my individuality. So I figured out diet. Yeah. Then I also figured out what I need to do in a wheelchair. I started like my little wheelchair. I've been in a wheelchair, and you have your things. You know you can pull yourself back. So that's what I do is strengthen up my shoulders and my arms. And I'm not going over, just going a little forward, a little bit back. Just a little bit. And it gets tired. It's tiring. Also, I would grab onto my armrest and lift myself up. Just a little bit, just a little bit. Little things like that. Then I would also, when I could, if I can, I know it's hard, I know my roommate's very hard doing it, put your leg out and move your toe around. Just little things. That's what I did in a wheelchair. And eventually, I got to the point where I can stand up. And once I could stand up, then I got to my walker. And then start taking little bitty steps. Now, here's the one thing that I had to learn to myself, learn to teach myself. If you get up and you take 10 steps one day, but the next day you only take 5. Everybody else goes, man, I took 10 the day before. I only did 5 today, I lost. No, you're still up 5 steps. Stop looking at it as a loss. It's a win. That nothing is a loss if you're doing it. If you're trying, it's a win. If you're attempting, it's a win. And when I do my videos in the morning, I go to the gym and I sell stuff and I get all this hate mail. You know what you're talking about, blah, blah. No. I just want people to try. No one's saying get up and do what I do. I mean, I get up and I go to the gym 6 days a week. I don't expect nobody to do that. That's me. I'm the crazy one. I want nobody else to be that crazy. Do what's good for you. Just hopefully things that I say and things that I'm doing resonate, whatever. You understand. I hope. Hopefully it gets with you guys, and then you guys can build on that, and then throw it back in a pile for me to look at. Go, wow. Oh, this is cool. I'm gonna try this out. That's what I'm trying to do, something that in this community, no one else has done before. For some reason, people are scared to share ideas. I mean, I looked at my publicist and my publisher, and I said, look, if I could give my book away free, I would have. But I have. I think I've given away 3 or 4 boxes full of books free. Because I'm not in this for money. I'm not in this for fame. I'm in this because I want this young lady right here to be up. I want this young lady right here to say, I'm not afraid about hospice because I've never seen it. That's what I want. That's my payback. I want no one ever to go to hospice or be afraid of hospice or hospice care or whatever and think they can't win. If you just, MS is going to fight you regardless. If it's going to get to a point to where you feel you need to be in a care situation, that's your choice, and that's the whole point. It's your choice. And that's what MS is trying to take from you. It's your ability to choose. Your ability to be an individual. And that is what I cannot stand by and watch. Because I've watched some people in the hospital and I watch people in hospice just allow a sickness to destroy them that way. I mean, it's not the sickness destroying you, it's you destroying you. It's you letting the sickness determine what you should do with your own body. And that's kind of weird. It's kind of controversial to talk about because people will go, well, no, it's blood. No. I don't believe that way. I'm backwards when it comes to that. When it comes to certain things. I know a lot of people on Facebook. You've seen this meme or whatever they call it. I don't know what these kids call these days. But it's a post. It says things you cannot do. It says, 1, you cannot stable water to a tree. I disagree. I think you can. 1, you can't wash your eyes. I disagree. I think you can. It's just not the way that you think it should be. See, society says you can't do this, so apparently you can't do it. It's wrong. No, if you pour water, you just stable water to a tree. It just might not be the way you thought it was going to look. So I believe we have to readjust how we see things, especially with MS. What the doctors tell you with MS, they told me, you're never going to walk in. You're going to die. You'll be in hospice. You'll be cared for the rest of your life. I was 32 at the time. I'm 39 now. I don't live on my own, but I took care of 2 other women. My roommate, Jackie, she's 62. I took care of her. And she takes care of me because I'm still with me inside. And my girlfriend. I helped her move across country. But I'm the guy that was never going to walk in. I'm the guy that was going to need care the rest of his life. But I've done it. I've used all their advice. I dropped off all those medications. I take Terra, that's it. I did use, and I do use essential oils. Use like lavender, chamomile? Is chamomile? Mm-hmm. Puerto Rican, I can't say. Chamoli? Yeah, that's a good one. Chamoli, yeah. I use those. I don't use like there's some other ones up to that. I'm just not that versed in it. But I do what I see. Like they tell you, okay, well, here, have some water. But first, before you drink the water, let me put in a bunch of fluoride. Why? What? I guess water wasn't good by itself. You need to ask for it. Why? When you know it's a trash, that's what I don't understand. Here's what do they do? Here's a new bean, but we're gonna add vitamin C to it. Why? Let the bean be a bean. But they want to add more. Why are you adding more vitamin C? Well, we're going to add more vitamin D to something. Why? When we just walk outside. So you're taking something that you're saying is vitamin D in a pill. It is just as good in your body as the stuff because of the sun. So it's honestly, you clear the way, take sunlight, and put it in the pill. And we can't travel, we can't go nowhere. We can't cure cancer. But you somehow put sunlight in a pill. I'm trying to figure out what they call professional science. I'm trying to figure them out sometimes because I'm like, you guys are just backwards to me. I don't understand this. So I question. I want people to question everything they do, not just for question's sake, question for your own sake. Why are they saying you can't get a pleasure? Why are they saying rest? Why? I did the exact opposite of everything they said. I do everything they said for 2 years. I had secretary, went to hospice. I did the exact opposite, lived on my own. I now have a job. I don't understand that. I don't understand how we allow others to determine what you decide is good for your own body. I just don't get that. And no one can tell me that, Ray, your foot hurts. It does? But he's going to tell me. Because one day, I'm sitting there and my legs shake, I have shaky leg syndrome. Really? I don't understand. Everything I see, especially when it comes to MS, is something new they want to give you a new drug for. The first thing I see with my doctors, when I see new neurologists and everything is, what is he selling me? Is he selling me, is he trying to work with me? Because last time I looked, you're a doctor who studied from a book that was written 78 years ago. I just wrote a book last year. My theories have worked, and yours haven't worked in 40 to 50 years. So it's a question. What are you doing, Doc? You're a professional at what? You're the same book you're reading, the same diagnosis you're telling me, but you're telling the next person who walks in with the mess. So you're saying essentially with the exact same person. Question it. That's pretty much how I get dealt with that. Now, I had a whole bunch more I wanted in there and tell you guys. Oh, the shame of it. I have to get off this so you guys can ask questions. I think you guys won't leave. Well, no one's here to talk about it no more. Incontinence. Some we all, well, most MS patients, let's say most, because I don't know, dealt with. I know I dealt with it. When I was in hospice, I was at a point where incontinence, where I had to let someone else wipe my butt and let female nurses teach me to pee like a man. Now, I can't speak for anybody else, but I know this gentleman right here, if he had to do that, I went that, it's very demeaning. If you had to have a woman teach you to use the bathroom, yeah, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm not a man no more. Not just chop me up and kill me now. That's pretty much how it was. And then you have to live the rest of your life knowing that happened. So when it comes to that kind of stuff, is when we talked about earlier, the shame of it all. I can walk through life and be shameful. Oh, man, I'm not a real man. And then MS one. MS can put me right back in the same situation I was in. Or I can sit and go, okay, all right, I learned. But the difference is, then I was not taking care of my body. I was not working out. I was not doing things. I was not eating right. I wasn't being happy. I didn't move the stress away from me. Now I'm going to do that. Now here I am 7, 8 years later, no problem. No nothing. My doctor actually even told me, I don't even know why you're on doterra. I just want to be. I chose. I want to be. I don't have to be. I want to be. I take all my vitamins in the morning, but that's just me. Now, I talk about protein, how that works good for you. Because protein is for muscles. So you want to be, whether you get protein from vegetables, or you get it from meat, or you get it from whey, which is the best way to get it. It's up to you. But it's good for your muscles. That kind of stuff. And honestly, what it all boils down to is this is your journey, folks. This is all you. This is what you want to do for your life. So either you're going to allow somebody else to choose what you do in your life, or you're going to take hold of yours slowly but surely. Now, I'm not saying this can happen overnight. It took me years to get to this point. A lot of hard work. And still, I'm working still today. It's still tough for me. I still go to the gym. I still struggle. I still have dysphagia, I call it. I get tired. I still do the battle. Every day is a battle. I'm not giving up the war. It's not going to happen. I hope that you don't either. I truly hope you don't. I really hope you don't. Because I want to come back a year from now and see you walking. That's how it is with that. It's something, and I really do, like we were talking earlier, it's a mental issue. You choose to do this or not. And that is what it all boils down to, is the choice of being happy and knowing you can. When you make that choice to know you can, there's going to be days it's going to knock you back. That's all right. It's okay. Just know that I'm going to get back on that horse tomorrow. It's all right. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to cry. It's okay to want to give up. And as many times I did. Even now, there's sometimes I'm like, I feel like, no, man. It's not easy. It's not. But don't let that one battle, even though you lost it, end your war. That's what it all boils down to. And I guarantee, if you get the attitude, I'm going to beat this, and I'm going to do the research for me to beat this. Now, if you read like my book, or read like Montel or Dr. Walt, which she actually, she wrote the foreword to my first book, Dr. Walt did. Dr. Rada he's co-signed my first book too.